Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're digging into ideal body weight, but maybe not how you usually think about it. We're aiming to move beyond just, a number on the scale.
Exactly. We're looking at a guide today that helps us understand it more personally, more holistically.
Right. Because so many of us have that one target number, don't we? But is that actually helpful?
That's the big question.
Yeah.
Often, it's maybe not the most helpful way to think about our health.
Okay, so if we're defining ideal body weight, what are we really talking about beyond that number?
Well, it's basically finding a weight that works with your specific body, supports your physical health, sure, but also your mental well-being.
So less about the number, more about feeling good and lowering health risks.
Precisely. Minimizing chronic disease risk, feeling energetic. That's the real goal. The number itself, it's kind of secondary.
That makes sense. And this often brings up BMI, right? Body mass index. Our guide mentions the 18.5 to 24.9 range is often called healthy.
It does. But BMI, well, it has its limitations. Big ones, actually.
How so?
You see, it's just a calculation based on height and weight. It doesn't know if that weight is muscle or fat.
Ah, okay. So someone really muscular could show up as overweight.
Exactly that. An athlete, for example. Their BMI might flag them, but they could be incredibly healthy. So it's a very general tool, not the full picture.
Right, because muscle weighs more than fat by volume. Okay, so if BMI isn't the whole story, what are the key things influencing a healthy weight for us as individuals?
The guide highlights quite a few. Age is a big one.
How does age play into it?
Well, generally as we get older, our metabolism might slow down a bit, and muscle mass can decrease if we're not actively maintaining it.
So things like strength training become more important.
Definitely. For keeping that muscle mass and supporting metabolism. It's crucial for overall health, not just weight.
Makes sense. What about biological sex?
That's another key factor. Men and women typically have different body compositions.
In what way?
Generally, women naturally need and carry a higher percentage of body fat, partly for reproductive health. So the ideal fat percentage looks different.
Got it. And you mentioned body composition earlier, the fat-to-muscle ratio.
Yes, that's probably a much better indicator of health than just the total weight number.
Why is that?
Because two people could weigh exactly the same, but one might have much more muscle and less fat than the other. Their health risks would likely be quite different.
Okay, so composition matters more than the scale number alone.
Yeah.
The guide also mentions genetics.
A huge factor we can't ignore. Our genes influence our basic body shape, where we tend to store fat, even our metabolic rate to some extent.
So we can't all look the same, even if we tried.
Pretty much. It's more about working with your natural predispositions through healthy habits rather than fighting against your body type.
And then there are underlying health conditions.
Yes, absolutely. Things like thyroid disorders or diabetes, PCOS, they can significantly impact weight and how the body manages it. It really underscores the need for a personalized approach.
So, taking all this complexity, how do we shift our focus effectively? Away from just the number. The guide talks about putting health first.
That's really the core message. Prioritize actions that reduce your risk of chronic diseases like heart disease or type 2 diabetes and enhance your overall well-being.
Meaning focus on feeling good, having energy, positive health markers.
Exactly. If those things are heading in the right direction, the number on the scale becomes much less important.
And fitness plays a big role here, I assume.
A massive role. Regular activity is key. A mix is usually best, some cardio for heart health, and definitely strength training to build or maintain that lean muscle mass.
Keeps the metabolism efficient.
Right. And then, of course, there's nutrition.
Not about restrictive dieting, though.
No, not typically sustainable or healthy long-term. It's more about balance, focusing on nutrient-dense foods, fruits, vegetables, lean proteins, whole grains, fueling your body well.
And the guide also brings up mental well-being. That feels important.
It's incredibly important and often overlooked. Chronic stress, emotional eating patterns, even just poor sleep quality, all of these can really affect our weight and health.
So self-care is part of the picture, too.
Absolutely. Managing stress, getting enough sleep, addressing emotional triggers around food, it's all interconnected.
Okay, so pulling this all together, for someone listening, how do they find their healthy weight range or focus? What are the practical steps?
Well, the guide suggests a few things. First, talking to professionals is smart. A doctor, maybe a registered dietitian who can look at your specific situation.
With that personalized advice.
Exactly. Second, focus on making sustainable lifestyle changes. Small steps you can actually stick with long-term, not drastic overhauls.
And third,
Listen to your body.